Hey guys, welcome to the Fastpitch feed. Want to say thanks a lot for everybody coming by, and one of the things that I wanted to touch on today, and I have been talking. Well, first of all, let's just get this out of the way. I just want to say thank you very much for everybody that's been coming to our live feeds, and it really has been helping me a lot in regards to the Big Boss Man and keeping this thing going. So. I just want to say thanks to each and every one of you that make the effort to come and watch us here on our live feeds here at World's Hottest Bats. And I'll just go right into it. A couple of the fast pitch things I wanted to touch on. I wanted to touch on the new Rawlings Quattro Pro 2020 lineup from that company in regards to their fast pitch product. Their fast pitch bats this year have a new governing system in it, and I think that those bats are probably going to end up being some of the best stuff put out this year in the fast pitch arena. The other thing I wanted to touch on, and I've actually brought a couple of examples, is I don't know if anybody has been joining me in regards to, or on the past feeds in regards to the Easton Ghost Double Barrel ASA or U-Trip ones, the ones from 2018 and 17, in comparison to the 2020 dual stamp. And I was finally able to get those bats on a straight head-to-head competition when it came to exit velocity. The verdict is in. The 2018 ASA single stamp gray and blue one, which is actually right here, is across the board, gives it about 3 more miles per hour in terms of exit velocity in my testing procedure than the 2020 version, which is the dual stamp. Now, the dual stamp did, however, blow doors on the U-Trip specific Easton Ghost Double Barrel, and this actually is going to not be the bat to get for the U-Trip players. But the dual stamp will be a better bat than this one. But this bat right here, the blue and gray one from before, is actually significantly better, and it's consistently better as well. Now, a lot of people will say, exit velocity is kind of like a little bit of a subjective thing, because one of the things you have to take into consideration is you have to kind of say, well, how are we going to get a good exit velocity reading, and how are we going to use that as a metric that we can actually compare bats, unless we're generating a consistent swing, and more importantly, a consistent force with that swing. And I thought, and I got to thinking about that. And a lot of people use those pocket, exit velocity testers, and they'll say, oh, I got this reading and this reading. Well, me being who I am, and me being what we do here, I actually set up a hitting lab, and I'll show you kind of what I've been using to make sure that I'm getting an exit velocity reading that you can actually take to the bank, because what I'm doing is I'm only taking readings from swings which I've made that are the exact same or within 1 or 2 miles an hour difference in terms of how fast the bat's moving, and also swings that are actually they generate the same amount of force, because that's super important when you're talking about exit velocity, because otherwise it's just it's just a radar gun clocking of a ball. But how far is that ball going to travel? That's the real question. So what I did is I set up a separate radar for the actual ball itself, in terms of the radar on that ball. So that's my exit velocity, and it's about 6 feet in front of where the ball is being hit. But what I've also done to kind of make sure I'm getting a solid reading in terms of the speed of the bat and the force that the bat is generating is I went out and bought this swing tracker, direct kinetics, whatever. It's basically a sensor that's put on the end of the bat. And what I've done is, let me get this thing pulled up here for you. What I've done is I put this on the end of every bat that I test for exit velocity. And the reason that I do it is because I want that consistency. I don't want an exit velocity reading from a swing that is 75 miles an hour, and then one that's 80 miles an hour, because you're going to get a different exit velocity from the ball itself. So that's real important. So across the board, the 2018 blue Ghost double barrel outperformed the dual stamped one every time. So, and it did it by an average of 3 miles an hour difference in exit velocity on the ball. And I'm using the same ball each time. And the other thing that I'm doing is with this bat is this isn't the one that I use, obviously it's still in the wrapper, but what I'm doing is I'm actually testing those readings on 3 different locations in terms of a point of contact of the ball on the barrel. And I'm doing that by also setting up a camera that shows slow motion on so I can actually see where the ball is being hit on the barrel, which is really, really important with this bat, because this bat's all about performance towards the end of the cap. And this bat, it you know, like I said before, it has a reputation for breaking, but it usually breaks down here because that's where the double barrel on this thing doesn't actually overlap. So yeah, so the results are in. I kind of had a theory before when the dual stamp came out, and I would be more than happy to I'll write down all the performance metrics that I got on like a chart or something, like a white or dry erase board, and we'll do that one of these times for you, but just to show you the numbers. But hey, Daniel, am I going to shave a bat live? Yeah, I can totally shave a bat live. It won't be today because this is a fast pitch feed, but I know that you're a slow pitch guy, so I have no problem doing that. In fact, tomorrow on my live feed, what I'll do is I'll actually take the camera back into my shop, and I will, I'll let you know. I'll show you what I'm working with in terms of just to kind of give you an idea of, that I'm not some hack. So, yeah. So, anyways, for the fast pitch people, I just want to let you know again. This bat right here, the blue and gray ASA stamped single association bat, is 100% more high performing than the dual stamp one, and I did both of them out of the wrapper, so that's pretty cut and dry. So if you're looking for a good bat at a good price and you're swinging ASA, don't get turned off by this blue and gray one from the last couple of years, because even though it has a reputation for breaking, if you hit it towards the end of the barrel, you're not going to run into that problem, because this is a true double barrel, which means that the entire length of the barrel, the flat section at least, there's an actual barrel that is inside this thing that actually is not in contact with the outside shell of this bat. So what happens is it doesn't quite get all the way down to the bat. So if you fist one with one of these, you catch an inside pitch or something like that, and you hit it off the inside, you can run the risk of breaking this bat. But if you step back from the plate just a little bit, and maybe just 4 or 5 inches, you'll find that this Ghost Double Barrel ASA bat is actually pretty amazing when it comes to what you want from a fast pitch bat. So I'll go ahead and end on that one for that. All right, cool. Now, I don't know if anybody else is here and watching me in terms of, looks like I got 6 people watching. Can anybody, ask me a question about anything that you have questions in regards to fast pitch at all? Anything. It can be, you can ask my opinion on anything. I will say, just so you know, I wasn't able to get my hands on an actual 2020 Quattro Pro fast pitch bat today. I wanted to go pick one up from Dick's because they are right down the street, but they actually didn't have it in inventory, so they haven't gotten them yet, or haven't distributed them to the stores at least. So if anybody has any questions at all in regards to the fast pitch product, let me know. That's about it. Mark, I'm talking about bone stock. The readings that I'm getting from those bats are bone stock. Okay, so that means that out of the wrapper, that single stamp ASA one is outperforming the dual stamp that they just released, and that's not surprising because if you take 2 of those bats and you put them together, I mean, you can't expect to get the ASA crowd to not take a hit, because if you're getting if you're putting the U-trip people with the ASA people, then you're gonna find that the U-trip people are gonna get a bump in performance from the dual stamp, but the ASA people are taking a hit. Am I still here? Anybody here see me? I think we're still good. Okay, so I'm gonna grab just some random bats, and we're gonna test the weight of these things to what the sticker says. And you know that's important because it's especially important in fast pitch because you got girls that are they're swinging their LXTs or their Xenos, and you know they want that drop 8 or that drop 9 bat, and they want it to swing at like a 34-inch drop 8 because they want some lumber in their hands, right? And these are the women or the girls that are hitters. So let's grab a couple of just random bats, and we'll just kind of see what the sticker says and then what the actual bat weighs. So let's check it out. Let me fire this thing up real quick. All right, so let's do this one. For all you slow pitch people, this is a 12-inch Melee reloaded. This bat is actually, this is a nice bat. So this is still new in the wrapper, so if you want this, hit me up. I'll get a good deal for you on this thing. This is already a really great bat out of the wrapper, but once I get it done with it, it'll drop some bombs, that's for sure. So let's check it out. So this Adidas says it's a 26.5 ounce bat. So let's toss it on the scale and we'll see what it actually comes in at. All right, so that's coming in at 26.9. So there's a good chance that they weighed the bat before they put the grip on, because these grips are always right around 0.4 to 0.5 ounces. So that's pretty good. So these kind of passed the test on that one. Let's do a DeMarini 34-inch CF Insane. This baseball bat right here is actually phenomenal for the person that's looking to get a pro contract at high school or get a D1 scholarship right after their senior year in high school. So this one says it's going to be a 31 ounce bat. So this is a 34-31 drop 3 bat. So let's check it out and see what it says. All right, so this bat right here is coming in 2 ounces heavier than the actual sticker on it. So this thing says it's supposed to be 31 ounces. I'm putting it right back on the scale, and I've got 2 pounds. I have 2 pounds, 0.8 ounces. That means that it's going to be 32 ounces plus 0.8. So that's 32.8 ounces on a 31 ounce bat. That is a significant difference, and this is the perfect example of what I'm talking about in regards to what these bats weigh and what the sticker says. It's very important to remember that just because you buy a bat and it says it's 31 ounces, it does not mean that's the case. So don't take these weight measurements that you see on these stickers to heart, because they really are inaccurate a large percentage of the time. So this one's like close to 2 ounces off. So let's try another DeMarini and see if they can redeem themselves. Actually, we'll do this Worth. This is a Worth Wicked ASA. This is supposed to be 26 ounces. Let's see what this thing is. And if anybody has any questions in regards to fast pitch stuff, please just put it in the comment section. I mean, really, there is no wrong questions. There's no wrong answers. I just want to engage with you guys and, just anything. Pick my brain. It doesn't even have to be about fast pitch right now. It can be about anything related to bats or any of the anything fast pitch, slow pitch, baseball, because I'm not getting a lot of feedback from all the fast pitch guys right now. So there's time to be had. All right, this is actually coming in at 26.5. Again, this is a 26 ounce bat, so probably weighed it before they actually put the grip on. So that's cool. I'm down with that. That's a Worth. Now, this is something that I'm really, 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 really excited about. Mark, yeah, I will be talking about the Rawlings next week. In fact, I'm going to be I'll have it taken apart for you, because all the Rawlings, basically across the board, Rawlings is doing serious research and development in this last calendar year on all their product across the board: fast pitch, slow pitch, and baseball bats. Everyone who's ever watched my baseball feeds knows that I'm already a huge fan of Rawlings, and their fast pitch stuff. I did one last week, and I was able to see inside of it, and it's pretty different. So I'm super excited about showing that to you, because like I said, I think that they're gonna really going to see an increase of people swinging that Rawlings Fastpitch stuff. You know, I think you're going to see an increase of people swinging Rawlings product across the board. That product and what they do at that company, they try hard and they try different stuff in order to get the best bat you can actually have in front of in the customer's hands, which is really all you can ask for from a consumer standpoint, man. This is something I'm actually really excited about, and anybody who is a slow pitch guy or interested in slow pitch stuff as well is going to be amped about this. This is this is the brand new Anarchy Flip U-Trip bat. Now we're gonna, like I said last week, we're actually going to start putting these on our website. In fact, if you go to our website right now, you'll actually see that we've got some Monster and some Anarchy product up there. Getting our hands on Monster bats in a relatively short amount of time, it's probably going to be a tall order, but everybody who has ever bought a Monster bat knows that's the case anyways, because it takes a little while to get your hands on those things, regardless of if you got money or not. But these bats right here, this is something I'm super excited about. I've actually never been more excited about the bats that we're going to be working on here than I am about this Anarchy product. The Flip is a phenomenal bat from Anarchy. It is a two-piece, 12-inch barrel, I guess 13-inch barrel. And anyways, it's on the shorter side of a 13-inch barrel, I think. But this is a U-Trip offering, which means that this is going to be a linear constructed bat. This will not be on an ASA exempt list or anything like that. And it will not have any extra barrel technology inside of it that's going to make this thing adhere to the ASA standards, at the same time be high performing for the customer. So, but this bat right here, everything about it is just, it screams quality. I mean, there's no real other way to put it. These bats, when I take them apart, they're just phenomenal. I mean, they just do such a good job with everything about this bat that there's a lot of meat on the bone to begin with, which means that I can do what I want to do to varying levels, and I can get performance out of it at all those different levels, but at the same time, not jeopardize the durability that you're actually looking for in regards to getting a bat altered or getting a bat re-engineered. So I'm excited, super excited about the Anarchy product that I'm going to be working on. And if you're a slow pitch person, please, you got to give us a shot on these Anarchies, because I know I can make this thing nasty. And although I have not had a chance to go to the hit lab and do some real measurements in terms of exit velocity and everything on these bats, I'm confident that these are going to be super high performing, and tomorrow I'll have this thing broken apart for all the slow pitch people, and we will see what is up. One of the things that I really do like about the Anarchy product is, if you'll notice the knob, one of the things that they have going for them is they intentionally do a really kind of low profile knob, and in comparison, I'm actually going to put that right there. Maybe you guys can still see it. I don't know. Let's see what we got here. Let's try this one right here. We'll do this 19, actually this is an 18 Worth EST comp. So this guy right here, you can actually see the knob. And if you actually look at it, it's pretty low profile. I mean, it's very skinny, all right? And it actually has a significantly smaller diameter than the actual, than its counterpart in the slow pitch arena. So if you look at this thing right here, you'll see that the knob itself has a smaller diameter. And what that's for is because that lets the people who have kind of a different grip on the bat, who want that finger over the end and kind of wrapped grip style and want to swing the bat that way, this bat right here, the Anarchy product, is going to make it a lot easier for that person to grab that bat, because it does not have that increased diameter or the standard diameter that you'll see in a slow pitch bat. So this is actually, like I said, super excited about it. I just got this in the mail yesterday, and I cannot wait to hit this thing, and I also can't wait to sell my first one, because I have a feeling that once we do here, that we are going to really kind of get some people that are wanting this brand from us as a company. So I've got an ASA one that's coming as well. These bats are going to usually, the way Anarchy does it is they usually do an offering, like for example the Flip. Now there's two ASA versions of this bat. This is the U-Trip one. And it's going to have kind of a middle of the road flex in terms of what this bat is. Now the ASA ones, they come in two separate flexibilities of the handle, and one of them is going to be like you're swinging a 2x4, super rigid, and then the other one will be really flexible. And I've read what they say about it, but until I get my hands on it, I'm not going to really kind of back that statement until I actually see and hit and kind of get first hand kind of feedback in regards to how flexible they really are. Because they say, a lot of companies will say one thing and then you'll just get something else. And it's not, I mean, it just shouldn't be that way. It really shouldn't be that way, because these guys are marketing stuff to you and saying, hey, this is a flexible bat. And you get out there and you're like, man, I like flexible bats, but this thing just doesn't feel like it. Well, hey, guess what? If it doesn't feel like it's a flexible bat, it's probably not. It's probably not like that. So it happens more often than you would like to admit. That's for sure. But one of the things that I'm interested in the Anarchy product in terms of re-engineering is I want to see how I can re-weight this bat, and that's kind of up in the air. And because one of the things I really like to do as re-engineering, when it comes to re-engineering bats, is I like to shift weight around. And I'm going to touch on it again because I haven't really talked about this in any of my feeds in the last couple of weeks, but I'm going to break it down for you real quick. I personally believe that the way that weighting is talked about in this industry and when it comes to bats is totally wrong. And it's based upon an idea or a mindset that was from a long time ago. And the reason that it is this way is because you've got manufacturers who are trying to put out bulk product and lots of volume, and they're trying to make money because they're businesses, which is understandable. But when you talk to anybody about weighting on a softball bat, and this goes for fast pitch, slow pitch, or baseball, everyone's going to talk about end loading and balance. And the idea of what they're talking about when they talk about that is end loading is going to be weight that's in the end of the bat or the cap, and then your balanced bats are going to have less of that, and it's basically based upon a ratio. So if there is the same amount of weight on this side as there is on this side, then generally across the board and historically in the bat industry, at least when it comes to composite and aluminum bats, that there's going to be, it's a ratio. So there'll be like, let's say 1 ounce right here and then another ounce here, and then boom, you got a balanced bat. Well, I personally think that that's an inaccurate way to really describe what a balanced bat is, because in my opinion, a balanced bat should be something that feels the same throughout your swing from the very beginning of where you're at, all the way through to where you follow through. And and if you think about what that is and the sport we're in, it makes sense, because golfers, they want to generate the same swing every single time. So it wouldn't, and softball players want to do the same thing too. I mean, consistency means that you're going to get a better hit each swing that you make, and that should be what everyone strives for. And in a sport that has batting averages in it, I mean, it's like a no-brainer. I mean, wouldn't you want something that is going to give you the consistent swing every single time, as opposed to something that has a hollow barrel, hollow handle, and you've got the industry. Oh man, shoot. Let me see here. Hold on. I might be out again, guys. Give me a second. Shoot. Anybody here? Can you hear me? Am I still live? Can somebody give me some feedback? Wave to me or something. Oh. All right, we're back. That's cool. Sorry, guys. My bad. All right. So I'm gonna get back to it in regards to the weighting. One of the things that I look at when I take these things apart is, dude, you got a hollow shell, all right? You got a hollow shell. And the industry standard is that you've got weight that's being put here and weight that's being put here. Now, there are companies out there who have done mid-loading, okay? Now, mid-loading is not exactly what it sounds like, because you would think that mid-loading is actually putting weight in the middle of the bat. And that's actually not the case. The mid-load, from a micron standpoint, is actually an idea and a thought process when it comes to the ratio between the knob weight and then the end weight. And a mid load would be like half of a max load, which means that, you know, instead of a full ounce more in the end to make it a max loaded bat, they're going to go with a half an ounce less. But it's not quite balanced, because remember, the industry standard is balanced is like a ratio of 1 to 1. So what I'm getting at is this. This is why what I do in terms of re-engineering is so different, is because I create progressive and variable weighted bats. Now that means that what I'll do is I'll actually put weight at different places in this bat from end to end. Now I do that, and I do it in little increments. And the reason I do that is because what I can do is generate the same feel that you'll get from a traditional end-loaded bat, like through the actual place, like through the hitting zone of where you're used to feeling that end-loaded bat. But what I'll do is I'll also give you a consistent feel in terms of the bat when it comes to where you're starting your swing, and then all the way through to the follow through as well. And people, a lot of people will be like, "Well, that's crazy. You know, you can't do that." Well, in my opinion, it should be like that. The idea of weighting where there's a weight here and weight here is it's beyond me. I mean, it's such an old school way of looking at things, because a balanced bat should feel the same from the beginning of your swing all the way to the end. And that will create a more consistent swing, and it will also make you just a way better hitter. And I can still make the things feel end loaded through the actual hitting zone, so the people that like that end loaded feel will actually like dig it. So that's one of the things I just wanted to touch with in regards to weighting. And if anybody thinks that makes sense, please feel free to chime in, because I know that the way I look at things is a little different. And you know, manufacturers can't do that. They can't put weight 6 different places in this bat. Well, guess what? I can. And that is why my bats are different than everything else out there. And if you swing one of my bats, I'm telling you guys, this thing is, I can make bats that feel like extensions of your arms. I mean, I'm serious. Like the minute you pick up a bat that I make that's progressively or variable weighted, it really feels different. And it feels good, and it feels comfortable in your hands. And anybody who says that they don't want something, that they pick it up and immediately are like, "Oh man, this thing feels good." Guess what? That's what everybody should want, because feel is super important. But the manufacturers can't sell feel, and you can't measure feel. So I tried to make feel a weighting thing. And the difference between a 26-ounce bat that is end loaded and the difference between a 26-ounce bat that is variably weighted or progressively weighted from me is night and day. You're going to feel like the bat doesn't have this kind of in the beginning of the swing. It's not going to feel like the thing's hanging back there, and it's just going to feel smoother throughout the entire swing. And that right there will get you guys, man, I'm telling you, just give me a chance to do a progressively weighted bat for you, and you'll wonder why you ever bought into the manufacturer idea of what weighting is on these bats. It's a hollow tube. It's literally got, and the industry standard is weight in 2 places. It doesn't make sense. So, anyways, yeah, that's about it for I think for today. Unless anybody wants to chime in, I want to. If anybody here is some of the new people that are part of the group from the dark market, I want to thank you guys for coming and watching this video. I'm going to be doing slow pitch specific content tomorrow. I'll be breaking this thing down, this new Anarchy flip, and kind of showing you what's up on the inside of this thing. And I will actually show myself doing a bat on the lathe. And I can't believe I'm doing it, because my shop, dude, it's dirty. I mean, it's dirty because I'm shaving bats all day long. So if you think it's going to be some kind of clean laboratory environment, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but it won't be that way. But hey, it's that way because we do a ton of work around here, so it's not the worst thing in the world. Yeah, so dude, I'm telling you right now, just keep watching my stuff because you know, I like to think that I do things differently around here, and I don't just, you know, we obviously shave bats, but I do a lot of other stuff different. Like I roll bats different than anybody else. I roll bats for 3 separate reasons. One, and I roll them different each time. I don't just toss a bat in a bat roller and hit the button and then like, dude, my bat roller is not even attached to an electrical machine. And the reason being is because I think that each bat creates, actually in each bat and how old each bat is, deserves different rolling techniques. And anybody who says they don't, they're just wrong. You know, if I get an old school Worth Mayhem, the old orange ones, that thing's got, you know, 600 hits on it to begin with. I'm not going to be able to open that bat up anymore. But what I can do with rolling on that bat is I can increase the sweet spot on it, and that is something that doesn't get, you know, looked at. And you'll never see me with a video of some kind of machine, electric motor hooked up to my rolling machine, because that just ain't gonna happen. I won't let that happen because I want to give each bat has different characteristics, and they deserve that individual attention when it comes to rolling. And the same thing goes with shaving, and the same thing goes with weighting. And it's bat specific, and it's player specific, and it's a different approach and mindset into what it takes when it comes to altering these bats. If you look across the board, across the entire country, you can look at, there's probably 1,000 places that will do custom weighting on golf clubs. Now, how come there's not one place that does custom weighting on softball bats? I mean, it's a legitimate question that you have to ask, because that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get the idea that you can get a bat, a DC41, and I can make that mic in DC41 special for you, Mikey Diaz, or you, Stephen Caton. You know, I mean, I can do that. And I can make it specific to what the way you swing, and the way and cater to that, as well as cater to the strengths and weaknesses of each individual bat. So, yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. I don't want to get too much more into it. I like to keep them under 30 minutes. So, you know, I want to again thank everybody for coming by. And for all you guys that are watching from the dark market, hey, just so you know, my thing is not showing a video of a lathe working and spinning around in circles. That's not my thing. I don't need to prove to anybody that I do the work, because, dude, I can prove it to you when I when you see the marks on my face from my mask that I wear back there, or you know, the composite that's covering my arms when I'm doing these bats. If you get a bat from us, I don't need you shouldn't have to get a video of somebody showing you a machine working that they're not even using. I mean, it doesn't really show you anything. But I don't get me wrong. I know where people are coming from when they do that, because they don't want to put their face in front of it. And I don't have a problem doing that. And I'm the first one in my industry to do that. And the reason that I'm doing this is because I want to show everybody, and I want to show the industry in general, that what I do, although people do have a stigma about shaving, it's not what we're about, all right? We're about increasing the performance of these bats, and you can do it in a whole lot of different ways than just shaving a bat, which is why you'll never hear me say that I shave bats, because I don't. I re-engineer them. There's a lot of other stuff that goes into it. So anyways, I will, however, show you our lathe working one time tomorrow, guys. But that's it. I'm not going to go and show you our shop. I mean, I can show you if you want, but I'm getting in front of you guys in a studio that we've made here for one purpose and one purpose only, because I want you to be able to see a face with the service and a company with the service, and I want you to be able to associate those two together, because our bats and what we do here at World's Hottest Bats is a step above, and we're trying to raise the mark in the industry, and that's all we're really trying to do. So I appreciate you guys stopping by, and and giving me an opportunity to get this information out to you guys. And the one thing I really will request from everybody is please, 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 when I do these live feeds, just start slamming me with comments. I mean, just even if you don't have a question, just make a comment in regards to something that you like about a bat or something you don't like about a bat. And I can use that as kind of ammunition to kind of spark up a conversation. And the next thing you know, I'm talking about something somebody else wants to hear about. And that's really that I really would love to see from these live feeds. And David, he just said that I do great work, and I do appreciate that, David. I truly do, and I like to think that I do as well. But when it really comes down to it, I need the feedback from you guys, because everything else is just hearsay. So give us a chance to get a good bat in your hands, and I promise you won't be disappointed. And if you are, we'll try to make it right. That's just kind of how we're doing it. So anyways, tomorrow, Anarchy Flip, a brand new U-Trip one. I'm breaking it apart, and for all you slow pitch guys. So I am going to get out of here now. So I want to say thanks again to everybody for coming by, and I'm going to go back into the cave, and the bat cave. I know it's kind of cheesy, but hey, we're world's hottest bats, so we call it Bat Cave. It's kind of catchy, but kind of cheesy too. All right, man. Hey, I'll see you guys around, and tomorrow the live feed will be happening at noon our time, which means that will be 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'm actually going to put a poll on this closed group today. I don't know, maybe in a couple hours or so. And we're going to get some feedback, and I'm going to do a poll, and we're going to have every one of our members tell me which time you would prefer to see the live feeds, because I believe that if I catered a little bit more to when people want to see it, then I think we could probably get a little bit more dialed in, and get a little bit more interaction, and then people watching. Because it's one thing to watch it at work when your boss is like, you got to hide it. And then it's a whole other thing altogether when you get to interact with me in an environment where you don't feel pressured and you got the time and you want to get your questions answered. So that's what I'm going to shoot for. So I'm going to do a little poll, and if you guys want to give me some feedback and let me know the best times, that would be great. I'll see you guys around, and have a nice day.